Will further consolidation, there's been one big round of consolidation in the public sector banking space in the last decade or so. Is further consolidation required, and will it help ensuring that banking services become even better?
See, for an economy of our size, there is a scope for banks of all sizes. If at all it's a smaller one, then probably they can carve out a niche in which they can become very efficient. So essentially, there is a need for efficient players. I think size is material and important, but at the same time there is a room for some of the niche players as well. So I think, to my mind, when it comes to the consolidation, consolidation has to be seen from the point of view that if at all, it actually brings in what is complementary, and also it gives newer muscles to the post-merger entity, then perhaps it is worthwhile, because invariably at any acquisition or any consolidation, there is always some kind of a pain. So the pain is worth taking if at all there is a gain eventually. So without gain, is it worthwhile to take the pain? Is a matter of debate.
Since we are talking about regulation, does India need more banks? Is there a need for more banking licenses to be given out, given the size of the economy and the size of the population that has to be served?
I think I would draw a parallel to the year 1990, when the new private sector banks came into existence. So if you really ask, at any point of time, there would be limited scope for the newer entities. But newer entities, if at all they are coming in, they actually have to offer the value-add services which are not being offered currently. And that is something which actually makes the incumbent players also to think out of box, and that is something which always brings in more and more competition, and which is eventually in the interest of the customer. So I think, if we look at the size of the economy and the number of banks, perhaps when it comes to raising capital, investors always look at the ROA and the ROE, and from that point of view, the ability of the banks to support the growing economy depends upon the ability of the banks to raise the capital and the deposits, and to service the customers according to where the need is. It is also a reality that when it comes to investment into risk, when it comes to investment into compliance, when it comes to investment into technology, these are the areas where banks will have to keep on increasingly invest. So I think much of it will depend upon the muscle of those newer entities in terms of their ability to raise capital. That is going to define whether I would say that there is always a room for the newer players, and they can always come in, but they will have to bring in something new which will actually bring in a change into the whole ecosystem.